Y'all want us to say something?
Oh, why not?
I don't got nothing to say. I know what day it is.
We dominate. You're right around. We found a way to win a football.
Oh, hey there, it's Jimmy G.
Knock the ball.
Pass! Get out of there, Holly! Go!
That's a hell of a catch. That's a hell of a catch.
That was just a double jam. All right, we gonna go for a knockout later. That ball in the air, baby. It's ours. Hey, that's easy. All day.
Got this down. Hey, right here, huh?
And welcome, everyone, to the show That the Pros Watch. I'm James Brown. Guess what? No Brandon Marshall this week, but Phil Simms and Ray said we must have a diva wide receiver on the show. So we welcome back the playmaker from the Dallas Cowboys, the Hall of Famer himself. I guess the Joneses said we need to have somebody from a PR firm, Irvin. That would be Michael Irvin. Welcome back, buddy.
Hey, good to be back, guys.
Good to see you,
guys. Good to see my guys.
Hey, and you guys will be at it for a while now, right? Winning on the road.
Yes, we will be winning for a while. What? I mean, the Dallas Cowboys.
You know, when you're in the media,
right?
When you're in the media, your next player, it's not we.
Oh, it's always
Well, you know what? You know what?
Always.
Listen.
We got him going on.
No.
Absolutely.
We got him going on.
Quiet.
What did we learn
Here, so
this past week?
this is perfect. What did we learn? Ray, it's good to have Michael back. You know why he's here? Because he needs the money. Okay, and here's why he needs the money. Because Dak Prescott down there in Dallas, Jerry's got
sucking it up.
Jerry's got to pay that guy, man. Dak's making money, so Michael, your ass is off the payroll. I love it. So we'll be seeing more of you. Hey, what else did we learn? Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur. Did you see the little argument on the sideline? You know what I thought about it? Nothing. Big deal. You know what I liked about it? No, I like this. Matt LaFleur kind of stood up to Aaron Rodgers a little bit. They got to be honest with each other, and he can now tell him, look, there was a guy open. You didn't throw it to him. Why? Well, because Aaron Rodgers wanted to do something else. I thought that was a great breakthrough in their relationship. The last thing, I don't want to get into it too much because we could do it every week. The officials, oh my gosh, watching the games. In the Pittsburgh-Seattle game, the pass interference, Seattle got in their favor. That turned the game around. Watching the Denver game, how do you get tackled and somehow it's 1 second left? And I don't know, I don't get that one. But the Bradley Chubb roughing the passer was one of the worst of the week.
Interesting psychology that you would say that it was a relationship breakthrough with quarterback and coach yelling at each other. Take a look at this, though, Mike and Ray. Take a look at this. You know, talk about a breakthrough. Now watch Phil. And what did he say to him? He loves you, Phil. He loves you, Phil. And Phil calls it a quarterback breakthrough.
You backed up like that.
No. Hey, listen, I won that battle.
Okay. By backing up?
They just showed him off. No, I got him so flustered, he went, just sit down.
Michael, he was backing up, though. Go ahead.
But you know what? There's nothing like honesty, though, Ray. That's what I like about it.
I just want to ask a question. Dallas is finally relevant again?
Yes.
Hold on, yes.
What do you mean?
The last time Dallas was relevant was 1995. I was at the University of Miami.
And I was catching those touchdowns. But we ain't got to talk about that. And I don't like the way you guys are trying to gloss over this and not shine the star. You got to shine the star. It ain't that Dallas is relevant again. Dallas is the best team in the NFC right now.
Wait.
Dak Prescott is playing the best football. He's the best quarterback in the NFC. I'll leave Patrick Mahomes in the AFC.
Wait, well, can I just interrupt one second? They
playing.
beat the Giants defense and the Washington Redskins defense. Let's settle down a little bit.
But we are analysts. We're not just talking about the final score. Our job is to see and talk to people what our eyes have seen. And your eyes have seen the same thing my eyes have seen. Greatness is in the Dallas Cowboys right now. The star will be the star this year. And you know
that. The Dallas Cowboys go to the Super Bowl this year.
You know they got it. Well, listen. I don't want to just put it out right now. But, yeah, I got him in the Super Bowl. I don't want to put it out right now. But speaking of Super Bowl, Ray, I got to tell you guys, last night, I'm watching the game. I'm thinking from the game to the Dancing with the Stars to see my man Ray.
Oh, here we go.
Ray. That thing out right there.
Ray, how you feeling today?
I feel good.
You feeling good?
Hey,
I'm watching because when I did Dancing with the Stars, I've been watching every year, especially when we have an NFL guy on. I just want to see if somebody gets a lower score than I got the first time out.
What you got, Mike?
Ray,
A 9?
we had a guy, Tom DeLay. He had a broken foot. He got a 13.
With a broken
I got
foot.
a 12.
With a
I
broken
said, oh,
foot.
my God, Ray. I said, well, Ray,
Ray,
too, Ray.
what did you get, Ray? What did you get?
They got a 15 last night. They got a 15 last night. So
They
that's
didn't
on the
start
incline.
recording this week.
Wow.
So this week, everybody got to pay.
Hey, before we go to the highlights, you said they're going to do what with that star down there?
They got to shine. No, they tried to gloss over it. This is what they're trying to do. But I want them to slow
Who's
down.
they?
and
Who's
put some
they?
shine. You guys trying to talk about. You got to put some shine on that star. That star's in a good place right now.
That
It's in a good
emphasized the
place.
week's headline,
We are in
the
the
quarterback carousel. We begin in Los Angeles
the house.
with the most
We may
anticipated
see
game of week
Baltimore in the
2,
Super Bowl.
the Rams hosting the Saints.
Michael, I will pay you not to come.
Which team would fall in the NFC Championship rematch?
Nobody needs to look at the scoreboard. Just play your ass off. Play one play at a time. Play for the man next to you. And remember this, nobody said that to be close.
With the score tied at 3, it was the Saints quarterback who went down.
Breeze takes a snap under pressure, throws over the middle, and incomplete.
Drew Brees banged his passing hand into the right hand of Aaron Donald.
Thumb surgery will keep Drew Brees out for several weeks. Teddy Bridgewater replaced him against the Rams. It did not go well. Tied at 6 in the third quarter, the Rams took control.
Gurley behind his block, sprinting to the left side, and in! Touchdown, Todd Gurley! It's plucked out of the air by Brandon Cooks! Touchdown, LA!
That was just a double down. All right, we're going to go for the knockout later. We're going to go for the knockout later. We ain't done yet.
It's too early to count the Saints out, but they never found their focus in LA, while the Rams looked sharp.
And they win their home opener here at the Coliseum.
Nice shot.
Keep it going.
A big change in Pittsburgh. Big Ben needs elbow surgery and is out for the year. While Seattle continues to find ways to win thanks to the irreplaceable Russell Wilson.
Here comes the blitz again. Russell's going to go down the middle, reaching up, making the catch in the end zone. Touchdown! Will Disley.
We can't stop us.
Even when Wilson didn't have the ball, he still made an impact.
Then he bounces outside and follows the blocking of his quarterback all the way down the field.
Wow, he bounced it all the way back, and there was no one even close. I mean, if they were playing touch football, it would have been a touchdown.
Mason Rudolph threw 2 second-half touchdowns in his NFL debut.
That's Vance McDonald for the touchdown. And I tell you what, Mason Rudolph looked like a veteran on that play. He waited until McDonald popped open.
Nice job. Nice throw.
Hey, we got a shot. Let's go.
Every time the Steelers got close, Wilson and the Seahawks answered.
He's got Metcalf. He's got a touchdown. Seahawks.
First one. You told me you needed one. I got you. Let's go. I told you to get one. Let's go.
What a win for the Seattle Seahawks.
First of all, it's Coach's birthday, 68.
It'll be fun, yeah. Let's go, Hines. Yeah, for sure. Let's get it. Let's have fun. Go ball, man. Yeah. Let's have a day. Let's have a day.
Trevor Siemian had a forgettable Jets debut.
We're good, baby. I got to settle in a little bit, you know. Hang in there with me. We're good. Hang on!
Siemian back to pass, deep drop looking, got to get out of there, being chased, rolls right. Oh my goodness, they hit him back at the 25 and he's hurt. Trevor Siemian is down on the turf.
Odell Beckham Jr.'s return to New York was a night to remember.
What a catch by Beckham with his right hand. He went up like the Statue of Liberty and pulled it down. Here's Mayfield throwing, and it's Odell Beckham Jr. in the clear. Touchdown! He's arrived back in the end zone at MetLife Stadium.
Saquon Barkley is one of a kind, and he got the Giants on the board first.
Off the right side, cuts right at the 15, foot race to the 10, to the 5, to the goal line, touchdown Giants, Saquon Barkley 27 yards out.
The Bills stampeded the Giants' defense.
Corner of the end zone, touchdown, touchdown Buffalo. The motor.
Great blocking all around by the Bills. They pulled Quentin Spain. They pulled Mitch Morse. Both of them with great blocks.
It was 22-year-old rookie Devin Singletary's first NFL touchdown. 36-year-old Frank Gore capped it with his 97th.
Frank Gore just pulls his way into the end zone from 1 yard out. He steamrolled his way into the end zone.
Hey, folks, there were a lot of new quarterbacks this past week, and now we can add one more name to the mix, that being the decision by the New York Giants to bench Eli Manning and start Daniel Jones on Sunday at Tampa Bay. As a matter of fact, take a look at this graphic here. This is fully now 15% of the league will have backups starting. Look at this impressive list of names. Super Bowl quarterbacks there, Hall of Famer to be, Drew Brees, and now they've got backups. But start with the Giants and what that means to you.
It caught me a little by surprise. I thought they'd wait a little longer to see that they were clearly not going to be a playoff team or whatever. Daniel Jones,
you mean
tall.
The way Eli Manning been playing, that surprised you?
Well, the offense has actually had some spurts where they played okay.
Right.
So, you know, it wasn't like Eli was just a disaster out there. So, but Daniel Jones, just a little bit about him, tall, can run. So we're going to see some running plays put into their offense that we haven't seen before. Throws the ball very accurate, moves around, and he played in a professional offense at Duke. So I think that those are all factors. And the biggest of all, you know, Pat Shurmur drafted Daniel Jones. Why? Because Daniel Jones fits the offense exactly the way he wants to run one.
Yeah. So what does that say about Eli moving forward? Is he done here in New York?
Well, you know, look at 16 years, Michael, so I don't know what he'll do after this year, if he wants to go somewhere else to try to start or be a backup or whatever. But, you know, it's a tough time in his career. No.
Phil, let me ask you this. Take those 5 teams. Out of those 5 teams, what backup quarterback has the best chance
to have success and lead his team to victory? First, let me ask you, because I know you have one in your mind. Who is that?
Teddy Bridgewater.
Well, of course it's Teddy Bridgewater.
I just think the investment
but we're
that
not
they
talking
made
about
this
just
offseason.
success in a victory, but success in holding it together and trying to get to a
But I
playoff.
truly believe he's that guy.
Yeah.
Why,
Right?
Why, Ray?
Because, listen, they invested in him this offseason, if you understand why. Right? And so you think about where Drew Brees is in his career. But you bring a guy like Teddy Bridgewater in, who knows this. Listen, Teddy Bridgewater is, to me, one of the best quarterbacks, that young quarterbacks I had seen playing the game before he got hurt. Right? But now you put him into that system with Thomas and Alvin Kamara, and you get that mix going, and you get this young boy moving around. And that's a different offense with his skill set. Right? Drew Brees is pure pocket. Teddy Bridgewater can actually
and that's on
quick.
the front end. He the skill set and the people he has around him, but also that division. He can hold it together because of that division with what's going on with Cam. And Carolina and everything.
I got to say this real quick about Teddy Bridgewater. Look, he's playing on the best team. He's got a great offensive line. The system is there. He's not quite the same as Drew Brees because he's not going to be as quick. He doesn't have the experience. But let's remember this. They got another guy down there in Taysom Hill. Trust me, he will be very involved in the quarterback position, not just running the football, but throwing it also along with Teddy.
Big Ben out for the season. What should Steeler fans expect now with Mason Rudolph?
I think they'll be happy. Mason Rudolph is a big quarterback drafted in the 3rd round last year. Last week, what he did, here's something I think that all teams really need now, especially from young quarterbacks. Hey, nothing's there. Move up in the pocket. He's not like he's a speed guy, but you pick up some extra first downs in the game. I think that's very important. So his mobility, the fact that they got one of the best offensive lines in the NFL, they got, wide receivers. They throw a lot of screens, trick plays to make it easy for the quarterback. So I think his transition will be pretty good.
Can they make the playoffs?
Can they make the playoffs? No, they're not going to make the playoffs, but it won't be because of him.
It's because of their defense.
Their defense is just, we've already seen it. 2 weeks, bad both weeks. How do you recover from that?
I have not seen Pittsburgh's defense this bad in a very, very long time, right? And you see a lot of young pieces. But one of the biggest things that's missing is coaches always think that they can call the play and the play is going to be executed. They don't have a leader on the field.
The other thing about Mason Rudolph, maybe they'll slow the pace down on offense to what? To help their defense out more. But go ahead, Luke
Jacksonville and Jets.
Well, Jacksonville and Jets, we got Gardner Minshew and we got Luke Falk, both from Washington State, so they threw the ball tons of time. Luke Falk set all kinds of records. Gardner Minshew last year threw the football during the season 660-some times. He had 480 completions. So that experience really shows Luke Falk knows how to work the pocket. He's a pocket quarterback. Gardner Minshew, I went back and looked at what I saw when he was coming out in the draft. I said, well, undersized, not a very good athlete, doesn't move around, all this stuff. And then we watch him in the games. Hey, he's pretty accurate with the football, moving around, so he's adapts to the pro game pretty good.
Did you all hear the question that our boss, Steven Espinoza, asked Phil during the production meeting and kind of got him a little upset?
What was that?
The question that he asked me.
He says, do you know anything about all these guys?
And you said,
well, what did I say? I
said I'm insulted.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, folks,
like asking Ray, do you know about the linebacker?
Me and you would never,
I wouldn't ask you.
We are taping our show on Tuesday, September 17th. So happy 24th birthday, 24th, to Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, my gosh.
The Chiefs superstar quarterback got his birthday celebration started early at Oakland. Do you know anything about backup quarterbacks throughout the league?
I know them, too, very well. Yes.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
All we need is what's in this white and red today. When we hit this field, we do what we do. We dominate. We fly around. We find a way to win a football.
Early on, the Chiefs couldn't stop the Raiders.
Get off the field here.
Oakland scored on their first 2 drives while holding Kansas City scoreless in the opening quarter for the first time in 22 games.
Here it is. Touchdown, Williams. Touchdown, back of the end zone.
Hey, Pat. Get your group together. Really ain't nothing to talk about.
Yes, sir.
Let's calm the storm. Be poised under pressure. Get your guys together. Let's go play some team football.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Patrick Mahomes ignored the noise and made some of his own. What a difference a quarter makes.
Mahomes takes the snap. Now he's going to gun it long. He wants Demarcus Robinson coming back to the ball. Great call. Hey, boy, great call. There you go.
He see you. He see you. He see all of y'all. Just be patient. It's coming, man.
Mahomes deep. He wants McCall Hardman
in the end zone. Touchdown!
The reigning MVP passed for 278 yards in the second quarter alone.
Floating a pass, Kelsey near side, over the shoulder, Mahomes, his third touchdown pass, and in as many drives.
That's a hell of a catch! That's a hell of a catch! That's what I'm talking about! All day, baby, brother.
Keep rolling, keep rolling.
95
keep rolling,
yards.
keep rolling.
Mahomes is gutting it out today, people. He's throwing deep middle. He has got Demarcus Robinson. It's his turn to have the game of his life. And the Chiefs have 4 consecutive touchdowns.
Hey, that was a good win. Hey, we got a good opponent coming to our town, baby. So make sure we're ready this week. Yes, sir. So Chiefs on 3, 1, 2, 3. Chiefs.
Gaffney, got me? Yeah. Take it to him. Yeah, I will. Take it to him.
I love you, bro.
Let's go.
The Lions weren't looking for a work of art against the Chargers, just a win.
Stafford, quick pump. Now he sets up a screen. It is caught by Kerryon Johnson after he fouled it. Kerryon to the 20, 15, 10, 5, end zone, touchdown, Detroit Lions.
Hey! Good job. Good job. Good job, buddy.
In a game with a scarcity of points, LA's Mike Williams had the catch of the day.
Leaping grab, Mike Williams, what a catch!
Holy cow.
The matchup of the day was the Chargers' Keenan Allen and the Lions' Darius Slay. For 3 quarters, Allen got the best of Detroit's best cornerback.
Keenan just lost the jock of Darius Slay.
Hey, keep fighting now. We're not far off. Keep fighting, boys. We're not far off this right now. Let's go.
The Lions trailed 10-6 midway through the 4th quarter.
Throws deep middle. And he's caught. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Oh, Kenny Golladay, that's outstanding. 31 yards, and the Lions have the lead for the first time today.
Hell yeah. Let's go, team. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
With just over a minute left and the Chargers driving, Slay had the final say in his showdown with Allen.
Rivers takes the snap. 3-man rush for Detroit. Rivers, long look into the end zone. It is intercepted by the Lions. Intercepted by Darius Slay. He's got it.
Yeah!
Oh, Darius, young man, you did it again.
Even when the Patriots are at their best, the Dolphins usually put up a great fight in Miami. Sunday was not one of those days.
Throws across, little catch by Balash. No, he bobbled it into the hands of Collins, who runs down the right sideline. One man to beat a lineman. He runs to the 10. He beats him to the pylon. Touchdown.
In his first game with New England, Antonio Brown caught 4 passes for 56 yards and a touchdown.
Brady fires the back shoulder for Brown. Touchdown, Patriots.
Joining us now is our insider, Judy Batista, who was in Miami on Sunday, and of course from Sports Illustrated, Robert Klemko, senior writer with Sports Illustrated. Folks, he broke more news on the Antonio Brown story this week. As a matter of fact, his column that came out just yesterday is entitled "There's More History to Antonio Brown's History." An awful lot that you detail in there, but to Judy's point, let's make it clear up top. There have been no criminal charges at all with all of the ongoing investigations into Antonio Brown. So what prompted you to even do the story in the first place?
Yeah, well, we heard a number of weeks ago from a tipster who was a friend of somebody that Antonio Brown owed money, or allegedly owed money. And so we wanted to reach out to him and several other people who had worked with Brown to see if this was a pattern, because a number of people have sued Antonio alleging debts ranging from, several $1,000s to tens of thousands of dollars. And they weren't really hard to find. You go through Instagram or social media and you find these people that he's worked with and in many cases no longer works with, who feel that he owes them money through, in many cases, a verbal contract. Part of the reason that they are so easy to find in those cases is because we found that Antonio believes taking a picture with him and putting it on Instagram is enough for payment. In lieu of payment, you can get that social media clout of being with Antonio Brown, and we found a lot of people who didn't agree with that. Through a woman who says Antonio Brown owes a charity foundation $700 for a painting of himself that he purchased, we met the young woman who made the painting in the first place, who said that she was contracted to create a mural of Antonio in his home, and when she was knelt down painting it, he walked up and was behind her naked with a hand towel over his genitals, and propositioning her, and she ignored his advances, and she was then fired. Was never touched by Antonio and thought nothing of it, but recognized some of the patterns of behavior when this news of the lawsuit, the federal lawsuit against him filed by Brittany Taylor, came out, where she alleges that in addition to forcibly raping her, he came up behind her and masturbated onto her back.
So you did not know that that incident had taken place that this woman describes in Antonio Brown's home. When you started this story, you were not looking for that story.
Weren't looking for it, and weren't necessarily looking for more accusers. You know, we were interested in this story of these unpaid bills, which seemed bizarre enough to us that somebody who's worth more than $60 million over the course of his NFL career would be accused of not paying a $700 bill or a $2,000 bill for the installation of a fish tank with piranhas, or you know, a $30,000 bill for a Pro Bowl chef to cook for him for the week. That was bizarre enough to us. And then you begin to talk to more and more people, and you know, even in the case, even after our story came out, we've had 3 people reach out to us saying that Antonio Brown owes them money, and we're also aware of someone who is accusing him of making a threat against them of violence, and who's considering a criminal charge.
So you're talking more than 24 people, is that correct?
Yeah.
So Julie, let me ask you, where is the league, or where does it stand right now with the current investigation, and will Robert Klemko's story add more fuel to the fire?
Well, I'm sure they've read it, but we are taping this on Tuesday. On Monday, they spent about 10 hours with Brittany Taylor, the woman who has, in the civil case that she filed in Florida, accused Antonio Brown of rape. That is the start of the investigation. It's been described to me as in its very earliest stages. So where it ends, we don't know. When it ends, we don't know. He is eligible to play. He played last Sunday. It is expected he will play this Sunday for the Patriots. He could be put on the commissioner's exempt list, which is basically paid leave of absence, if the league, first of all, would have to find the allegation credible. You can be put on that list if you have been charged with a felony or with an act of violence, which he has not in this case, or if the league, during the course of its investigation, finds reason to believe he may have committed an act of violence. They don't have to be sure of it to put him on the commissioner's exempt list. That just gets him off the field while they continue the investigation. But they haven't even gotten that far yet. The investigation is just beginning.
So, Robert, but question about journalistic skepticism about the accusers. Did that touch your chord at all?
Sure. You know, once people know that there's been a lawsuit filed against somebody for outstanding debts, I mean, it's not unreasonable to think that more people will pile on, and people who say they have verbal agreements can then come into the picture and say that Antonio Brown owes them money, and it's not true. We asked for text messages, emails from all the people that we talked to, and they were provided to us, and all of them indicated an agreement with Brown to provide some sort of service, and then a complete ghosting after the fact, where it's not as though Antonio Brown and Drew Rosenhaus are saying, we paid you, what are you talking about? It's just cut off contact.
Wow, so the story and the saga continues. Robert Klemko, thank you so very much for giving us the latest on this this situation. Wow, unbelievable. All right, folks, we'll continue to monitor this story. Judy Batista will be all over this one. Now, while Antonio Brown and other stars, such as Odell Beckham Jr., are scoring touchdowns and making headlines with their new squads, their old teams have struggled early on in the new season. And for more on that, we head over to Phil, Ray, and Michael. Phil?
Well, thank you, JB. Boy, some disturbing stuff when you put all that together and you listen about Antonio Brown. But let's talk about another segment, teams that are 0-2, Pittsburgh Steelers, New York Giants. And the title of this segment is Be Careful What You Wish For. So let's get it started. The New York Giants, we saw it last night. They decided for the betterment of their team, they get rid of Odell Beckham Jr. What do you think about it because of his presence in the locker room?
Listen, Odell, what he has from a talent perspective makes everybody better. Just makes everybody better. And that was the gamble that they was willing to take, right? Their gamble was, okay, you know what? Too much off the field stuff, so we're going to cut ties. I'm telling you this, that risk, that's a risky risk, right? I think, honestly, if that's me, I get somebody in his life to say, let me find somebody that can mentor you, that can make sure that you stay straight while you're not in the facility, because that kid, he's electric. And every time you see him do something else, you're like, wow.
So you're saying right away, you live with the headache, and
I would have figured out a way
to try to alleviate the headache, get him some aspirin for that. But you don't let the talent walk out the door.
You don't.
Because that gift that he has, that 89 yards he went Monday night, the Giants could have used that. They could use that each and every week, and they don't have that. You start talking about cleaning up a locker room and taking out some of those guys that you think may be a headache. But those guys are a headache sometimes because they're fighters. They're fighters, and your locker room need fighters on the football field.
I played with so many headaches.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, one of the biggest things that I did when headaches, you can't do it from up top. Ownership can't do it.
Right. It has to be in the locker room. It has to be in the locker room.
Somebody has to confront him and say, boom, come on, what we do?
The best thing you said, don't let talent go out the locker room. But he is, hey, look, he's handled himself well so far down in Cleveland. Now, Antonio Brown, it's a whole different factor here because he is trouble outside the locker room, trouble inside the locker room. Would you have found a way to keep Antonio Brown on the football team?
I think what you have to do, once again, guys, this has to start in the locker room. One of the things that's disconnected from the National Football League now is what the brotherhood has always been about. The brotherhood is that we have to figure out a way to take care of each other, right? Because if we take care of each other, you watch what's happening in Pittsburgh right now. You lose Antonio Brown. You want to make Juju that guy. We just found out Juju, without nobody taking that attention away from you, #1 receiver becomes hard.
Let me ask you a question, Mike.
Let's also say this, Phil. You know, Antonio, he had about 8 years in Pittsburgh. We didn't hear anything. So for a minute, it was going good there. There's something that went on in Pittsburgh that started all of this. Because I sit back, I was blown away. I was like, man, wait a minute. We had 8 years, 9 years in Pittsburgh. None of this was going on.
Here's what.
And now all of a sudden, everything's happening.
What made it fall apart? Come on, what made it fall apart? Tell me.
Well, outside the relationship between the quarterback
it's about money.
What he said.
It was money. He wanted more money, and they don't believe in redoing contracts. So he got out.
But I think when it went bad with the quarterback, he used that to get more money.
It just helped
the quarterback.
But if the Steelers would have redone his contract, he would have stayed there and got along with Ben Roethlisberger fine. Real quick, Le'Veon Bell. You know, they let him get out the door, too.
That's another one.
How come you can't work that out? Because
that was about
Le'Veon Bell last night?
Well, you just talked about it. That was about money.
Yeah.
That was about money, and they didn't want to pay the running back the money. That's a whole nother argument there that we can get into.
The reason why I'm on for this reason why I love being on the player side with this one is because, listen, owners, when they wake up in the morning, they can make a decision, and you know this, to cut you when they get ready, to get rid of when they get ready. So when these players stand up and they may have issues, there's no perfect man in the world, right? There's no perfect person in the world. So if they have issues, let's address those issues. But don't just think, oh, wow, now, you know, Le'Veon Bell, he wants to sit out a whole year. It doesn't matter. He's gambling on himself, right? And he won.
Yes, he did. Look, you know what? There's rules, and you can break those rules for certain players, and neither team did it. And it's, you know, they're not there. So talking about headaches, man, I got some headaches on this show dealing with you two.
You should have headaches.
But look, what we're going to do, too, we've been talking about the Cowboys. You glossed over them. We're going to talk about the Baltimore Ravens. They played this weekend. They look good, Ray.
Lamar Action Jackson.
And hey, and another guy on the defensive side, Earl Thomas, he was mic'd up for the Baltimore Ravens.
Hollywood.
Yeah, baby.
Hollywood.
Hey, princess. Big man. Mwah. All right, baby.
Love you. We gotta flip that switch. Every single Sunday, you get it right in your mind to be mentally tough and get after somebody's ass.
Yes, sir.
I flip that switch every Sunday.
Woo!
In 10 seasons, Earl Thomas has seen a thing or two. But last Sunday, he and the NFL saw a first. Larry Fitzgerald notching back-to-back 100-yard receiving games to start the season.
That's all good. I got some for the ass next time.
Baltimore's offense had some high flyers too. Mark Andrews recorded his second straight 100-yard game, the first Raven tight end to do it.
Down the sideline, he's got Mark Andrews. Touchdown, Ravens!
Lamar Jackson was even better, accounting for nearly 400 yards of offense.
Jackson play fake, rolls to the right, throws, touchdown, Hayden Hurst.
Hey, bro. I'm mad at you, bro. Why? It's third quarter. I ain't heard Earl Thomas not one time. That's a good thing. I play free safety. That's a good thing.
In the fourth quarter, the Cardinals cut into Baltimore's 20-9 lead.
Nobody covering him. 2 points for the Cardinals. They're only down 3.
Ultimately, one final perfect pass from Jackson sealed the win.
Ball game. Everything we've worked on all off season, we have the opportunity to put it on tape today. Set the tone for what we want all season.
Carlos Dunlap and the Bengals had their moments in their home opener.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Dalton fakes to Mixon, throws a short pass. It is caught. Tyler Eifert.
Eifert! Welcome back, Eif. Hey, D. Hey, we know we go as we go. Hey, it's on you. It's on you. That was gonna be one. You're supposed to rush me. Jimmy!
Cincinnati got close, but not close enough. Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers pulled away with 572 total yards.
Play action, the ball goes to the end zone. Touchdown!
Hard to run against this goal line defense. Juszczyk gets a great lead block on the linebacker.
Bro, I seen your ass. I was just looking at your ass the whole time. I promise. I was just like locked in on your ass.
That was some good talking, man. I appreciate you for that.
I know, but
You're a hell of a player, dude.
Y'all had a heck of a plan too, man. Remember why you play this game, man. For the love of the game, for your family, for the brother next to you.
I'm gonna make my plays. You make your plays. Everybody make their plays against the stadium would win.
Joe Flacco was constantly under pressure. Trailing 13-6, the Broncos made just their second trip into the red zone.
Third down and goal at the 2-yard line. Flacco gets rid of the football, and it's intercepted on the far side. Oh, no! Bears take over.
Not bad.
With under 3 minutes left, Joe Flacco had a chance to right his wrongs.
Offense got a score right here, bro.
It looks like the Broncos offense has worn down the Bears defense, believe it or not. They're knocking on the door again. It's going to be a first down at the 7-yard line.
If we score, nobody going down there. We're going for 2.
40 seconds left. Denver's down 7. Throws the ball back to the end zone. Sanders goes up, makes the catch. Touchdown, Denver! Denver's first touchdown of the game. They are going for 2 here.
Snap back, now what? Penalty marker.
No!
This is a delay of game against the Broncos.
Kick it!
Really important extra point try for Brandon McManus. Kick on the way, and it is no good, but the Bears are offsides.
Quite the turn of events. Fangio's going to get his wish after all and go for 2.
Let's go for 2! Flacco likes it quiet.
Flacco takes the snap, looks right. Throws, pass to the end zone. Caught! 2-point conversion. Sanders, it's over.
The Bears trailed by 1 with 31 seconds left.
Here comes pressure, hit as he throws. Pass is tall, but caught by Burton. Penalty marker flies. It could be a late hit on Mitch.
That is a god-awful call.
Bradley Chubb the penalty. Add 15 to the catch. Snap back Trubisky. Protection holds. He's scanning. He's looking. He's running. He throws. Open caught. 35-yard line. 1 second left on the clock.
53 yards for the win for Eddie Pinheiro.
Good placement. Boot by Eddie Pinheiro. And the kick is good for the win. Pinheiro with a Pinheiro kick to send Denver down.
Eddie Pinheiro, you won yourself into the hearts of the Bears fans with that type of kick.
Go, Eddie! Let's go! Game ball, man!
Bears kicker Eddie Pinheiro wins the game and gets the game ball. And, folks, that's a perfect segue. You know what? I love this. Ray's unsung heroes. I love the underdog. Ray, talk to us.
Because in my career, one of the people, a group of men that I always loved paying attention to was the people that never got in the press. Ever. Sometimes it was scout team people. And I want to show you what happened. I want to show you what's happened this past Sunday.
That's a leader right there.
I want to show you this past Sunday.
That's what a leader has to do.
Listen, everybody knows who else gets paid all this money. But watch this offensive lineman gets out there. You know how perfect of a timing that is? He will not be heard.
That's a great block by Matthews.
Watch this. Watch this Matthews play. Watch how much time. Look at the timing of this. Look at the timing of this. Clean hit.
But let's be clear now.
Let's be very clear.
Let's be clear. They scored a touchdown because that's Carl Lewis with hands right there. That's what.
Carl Lewis with hands.
Let's go to the next one. Justin Reed. We always hear about the D line and us. Watch Justin Reed. Patience. Oh, that's a play. Guess who stops that? They will probably get at the J.J. Watt though. But Justin Reed stays. Look at his patience. Look at his patience. People at home. Patient enough. Squat. Get up under him. Old man always wins in football. It's never changed. It'll never change. We're going to go to the other one. I want you to watch this. This next one. I want to show you what, Michael, I don't know how many times I've saw you run downfield and block. I'm just saying, you say you don't get paid for that. Ray, you don't miss a thing out there. You miss it. JB, I watched it for years. But I want you to watch Robert Woods on this catch by Cooper Kupp. I want you to watch this. Cooper Kupp. He don't make this play unless Robert Woods comes. Watch this. That's one hit. No, watch this. Watch this. That's two. He's still running. He's still running. He won't be in the paper, JB. He won't be in the paper. Wow. He won't be in the paper. These are the guys that we're not paying attention to. I've never saw Michael Irvin do this a day in his life.
No, he never saw it. Mike never did it. He's right.
Oh, you're not going to lie about it?
I couldn't take that.
Cooper Kupp does not score this touchdown without Robert Woods. Let's go to the next. Let's go to the next one, guys. I want to show you this play. All defensive linemen are taught one thing, Mike. If you can't get to the quarterbacks, put your hands up.
Get them hands up.
Good things happen when you put your hands up. Now, he won't be mentioned, right? Because it's about, Oliver won't be mentioned because it's about the guy who caught the interception. But, JB, the receiver said it last week. Oh, guys, it's these guys that if the quarterback don't do this, I don't get my passes. This is a team game. And there's so many unsung heroes that we never. There's one more I'm going to show you. And I want to show you these two guys right here. Because these two guys right here dictates the bubble that he has to. Look at the bubble. The bubble gives the corner time enough to get there. So guys at home, the bubble. Watch the bubble. These two guys, right? Because they're going to pinch and go flat down the field. When they go flat, he has to arc.
They make him bubble.
Anytime you arc and have the bubble, you give your defense time enough to go east and west, and he makes
a better angle. You get a better angle. That's incredible.
Who is the unsung hero on this show?
That's good stuff.
Unsung hero?
That is good stuff.
The unsung hero on this show probably will be probably Steven Espinosa.
Steven Espinosa? Oh! Not even Phil Simms. Hey, by the way, he said Steven Espinosa, the president of Showtime, because he's got his own segment right there. Mike.
And he is sentimental, right?
You know what? He does write the checks, right? Steven just pulled a check out of his pocket. Hey, you went downfield and blocked, didn't you?
No, for nothing. It wasn't.
We'll be right back. We'll be right back.
There are plenty of unsung heroes in our next set of highlights, and there's also Aaron Rodgers. You may have heard of him. Here's Minnesota at Green Bay. You don't lie about it. And Ray said, because Ray doesn't miss a thing.
I ain't never saw a block.
Chicago's defense is pretty damn good. Well, last time I checked, your defense is pretty damn good too now. I don't know if we're not. Don't try to lull us to sleep now.
The Packers appeared to put this one to bed after scoring touchdowns on their first 3 possessions.
He's got Williams to the 10 to the 5, barreling his way to the end zone. Touchdown! Lost the end zone. Tebow's got it. Leaping grab. Touchdown! So this is what they were talking about all year about this new offense, huh?
Minnesota's dormant offense woke up in the second quarter.
He has a safety to beat. It's Darnell Savage, and he beat him. And it's a lose. Go, 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 go. Touchdown! Breathing life into the Minnesota Vikings.
Great job at you ahead, man. Now we're going to go back. Points to score, man. Football to play.
Hey, what are you boys? Keep working now. Cousins, deep for Diggs, center of the field. Touchdown!
The Vikings trailed 21-16 with a first and goal and just over 5 minutes remaining.
Fake to Cook, Cousins bootlegs right, chased by Dean Lowry. Lofts in right corner of the end zone. Leaping interception. King's got it. Green Bay football. A spectacular leaping grab.
Hey, they don't give you style points in this league. All that matters is what that final scoreboard says.
Congrats, Coach, on your first home win.
I appreciate it.
Panthers amped up and ready to rock and roll.
It was the Bucs offense that found its rhythm.
Winston throws toward the end zone. It is a touchdown, Tampa Bay. Winston hands the ball off, and Barber up the middle of the 10. 3, 2, 1. He's got a Tampa Bay touchdown.
In the fourth quarter, the Panthers defense trimmed the lead.
A running play to Barber, taken down in the end zone. A safety, Luke Kuechly.
With less than 2 minutes to go, the Panthers marched deep into Tampa territory with the game on the line.
Panthers down 6.
4th down and about a half a yard. It's a wildcat thing.
They snap it to McCaffrey, who fakes a handoff, trucks left, stiff arm. It's going to be close. He didn't make it.
It's Bucs ball.
While some sing the praises of the Minshew mustache, all know that containing Deshaun Watson is a hairy proposition.
Feeds inside. He's got the goal line. Touchdown, Deshaun Watson.
Late in the fourth, Gardner Minshew made this one a close shave.
Fires to the back of the end zone. Touchdown!
They want to slam the door shut right now.
The Jags are going for 2. Here we go. 3 receivers to the left.
Handoff, Fournette running left. And he stopped. Justin Reed got in there. The D stiffens on the 2-point conversion try. The Texans hang on to beat Jacksonville.
Well, the Texans stopped them. You know, the good thing about being stopped there, we all picked the Texans last week, so we won that game. And let's go over last week's pick. Oh, my gosh, I won, Ray. Sorry. 11-5. Ray, you were 10-6. Brandon was 9-7. And, Michael, we don't even care what you did.
Be careful.
You're not even on it.
That was great last week.
Man, what
Great
were you?
last week.
Be careful.
You know, you're threatening me.
I'm not.
Nice.
There's a difference of a threat and a promise. It's a big difference.
Explain it to me later.
I will.
Okay, here we go. Game number 1. Keep it sharp, okay? Ravens at the Chiefs. This
Start
is
with
the
Michael,
game of the
please.
weekend.
All of these are pretty easy picks.
What's easy,
right
Mike?
The Ravens at the Chiefs.
Ravens in the. That's an easy pick.
That's a pretty easy pick.
Michael,
It's an
I
easy
said
pick
keep it sharp. Let's
because it's in Kansas City. It's in Kansas City, and with that game being, you know what it's like to play in Kansas City now. That's a tough place to play. I'm taking the Chiefs to win.
Yeah, I've been there a few times.
Go ahead. What do you think?
I don't think I lost, but yeah. So I do know what it means. But I tell you what. Baltimore going to Kansas City. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Lamar Jackson and Hollywood against that defense. I'm not talking about Pat Mahomes. Wink Martindale got his hands full how he plays Pat Mahomes. But right now I'm going to Baltimore Ravens on the road.
You say, man, that is strictly with your heart. There's no doubt about it. Listen, the Kansas City Chiefs defensive front is good enough. And who's going to get to Patrick Mahomes on the Baltimore defense? That's right, nobody.
Nobody.
You're first. Here we go, Ray.
Let's go.
Well, you can promise me later, okay?
Y'all going to piss me off.
Steelers at the Niners. That's how you felt with the judges last time,
I'm taking the 49ers in this. So Garoppolo is playing lights out football right now. And the Pittsburgh Steelers cannot find nobody on defense to communicate.
And I'm talking about every time they run the football, San Francisco last week was getting 10 yards a clip. I mean, it was incredible. I'm taking San Francisco to win this game.
Hey, great running scheme. Stop the running game.
Great
the 49ers find a lot of ways to get people wide open. Garoppolo can throw them left-handed.
Give Kyle Shanahan some credit.
I'm taking San Francisco. Michael, Saints at the Seahawks. This is an interesting game. Don't forget backup quarterback.
We talked about Teddy Bridgewater having a chance to keep them in contention. It just won't happen this week because they're playing in Seattle, and that's a tough place to play. I'm taking the Seahawks.
I like Seahawks. I like this one-pick Seattle guy, Metcalf. He is going to be a player. DK Metcalf is going to be a player for that football team.
Beautiful touchdown.
Yeah, run the football, big receiver running deep down the field.
It's exactly what Russell Wilson did.
Well, we're seeing it with that's right, but we're seeing it with the Baltimore Ravens and Marquise Brown. Really good pick. I take the Seahawks. Seahawks are one of those teams that get better every single week. Here we go, Ray. Rams at the Browns.
Rams at the Browns. Wow, good game. But I think Todd Gurley goes crazy in this game, and I think the Rams defense slows down this Cleveland offense.
Everybody jumped on the wagon to ride that Browns wagon all the way to Miami. Now, I got on the wagon. I just didn't take it to Miami.
The Browns wagon.
The Browns wagon. They'll do better, and they'll maybe even crack a playoff, but they won't win this ball game right here. I'm taking the Rams.
Yeah, is that the first wagon you've ever been on?
No,
that's my first wagon.
Listen, trust me, Phil. Them wagons he been on.
Hey, I'm taking the Rams just because I think they can get explosive plays, run the football. Browns still trying to figure out what they do. And it's like, oh, my gosh, wait. I can't read this, Mike. Read the prompter. Look what it says.
It's time for our last set of highlights. Dallas at Washington.
Oh.
Let's show y'all the real stuff.
What real stuff, Mike?
The real stuff, the Dallas Cowboys.
Y'all ain't been in a freaking Super Bowl in 20 years.
It's the real stuff now. It's the real stuff now. We got to stop talking about yesterday.
1 week after a career day, Dak Prescott put on an encore performance.
Play fake to Elliott. He's got a lot of time deep to the middle. He's got a man to the middle of the field. It's caught, and it's in for the touchdown to Devin Smith. We'll take the fake. Prescott keeps running left. He's got a lot of room.
Dak added the longest run of his career.
Dak Prescott is on fire.
And led the Cowboys to 5 straight scoring drives.
Touchdown to Amari Cooper. Dallas is going to start 2-0.
Competing in the AFC South can make for a rough ride. But the Colts know how to giddy up. Indianapolis is jumping at the chance to prove their success is more than just luck.
Throws in the back of the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown. Lobs it in the end zone. Looking for T.Y. Touchdown!
To best the Eagles is to beat them at their own game.
There's Ridley.
By letting it fly.
Ryan throws the post down the middle, and Ridley reels it in. Julio Jones, touchdown Atlanta. Another special edition from Julio Jones.
Eagles could do nothing right in the first half, but they kept battling, and Carson Wentz has shaken off the problems. And he seeks, and he's in. Touchdown. Eagles take the lead.
4th and 3 at the 46. Snap to Ryan. Here comes Philly. Quick throw. This is Julio Jones. 25-20, 15, 10-5. Touchdown Atlanta. Holy goodness smokes.
Well, the Dirty Birds down the Eagles. And you know what? With a few other folks around here feeling just a little down and probably in the league as well, we're going to pick them up with Dear Insiders. Up first, Dear Phil and Ray. I know fashion, but not football. So I'm hoping you can help me. Who wore this outfit better, Michael or Cam? Thanks in advance.
Oh, man. Hold on,
Ray, talk to him.
Mike, hold on, Mike. I'm finna take you out of the. Get up. You need to leave Showtime right now. Don't you ever put on that outfit ever again.
Ray, they still talking about it. Ray, it's a week later.
You're absolutely correct. They still talking about it.
He just wants to listen to me. Ray,
oh, my goodness, Mike, that's so bad.
We're in the back room, and I said, thank God you didn't wear that. You know what he says to me? Oh, no, that's new trend. It's coming.
I said it's coming. I said it's coming.
It's coming.
I said come back to me in about 6 months, because I'm usually 6 months out front of everybody.
There you go. Dear Ray and Michael. Dear Ray and Michael, I love your moves so much. I'm hoping you can help me. You've both known the dance floor, but I hear Phil is actually the real Twinkle Toes. What's the deal? Is he too busy doing pull-ups to come on the show? Thanks in advance, Bruno from Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, man.
Ooh, Ray,
I love Bruno. Yeah, he's like, you brought the fire, baby.
It's so good.
Michael, I cannot believe you guys have played before millions.
Let me tell
me you were nervous on that show?
I was so nervous. I ain't never been that scared in my life, man.
Dancing with the Stars.
So Dancing with so scared. And I'm going to tell you what Bruno said to me. Well, after I did my dance, Bruno said, Michael, you're like the economy. We keep waiting on you to get better, and nothing happens. I said, oh, my God.
Michael, he was telling us earlier, right? He had the lowest scores ever for the first time out there. Oh, there you are. Look at you, Michael.
I was so afraid of that show, man.
Look at your mouth.
Well, listen.
I was nervous, man. I was scared.
I am not nervous.
That mouth never shuts, so it's always open.
But before we go,
I got one complaint. So I did two segments. Well, not a complaint, right? But I did two segments with these guys. It was fun.
Word in edgewise?
So I did one segment. I said, "Now look, Michael, I'm going to come to you with this question." He goes, "Oh, that's good. That's good. Come." And hell, he never let me answer the question.
He knew you wanted to, right?
He wouldn't shut, and I got done. I said, Mike, he goes, oh, that's right.
Once we got going, you know, you just ride.
Time for shout-out of the week. I know the Cowboy guy will clean me up on this. We like to talk about the good things the players are doing around the league that don't get noticed. 2 weeks ago, Cowboys and, of course, the Giants. That game was where? In Dallas.
In Dallas.
And after the game, a little Giants fan went up to one of his Cowboy stars to get an autograph. And the guy said, you need to change jerseys, because he had a Giants jersey on. Saquon Barkley noticed that and said, hey, I got you. In a couple of weeks, I'll pay for your entire family to come see us play. I believe they're playing the Jets. So I just want to give a tip of the hat to Saquon.
Very good.
You know what?
That's great.
Nice sensitivity, and especially when it comes to little kids. I mean, those are the fans, right?
Great role model, man.
That's it for us. We thank all of you for watching. We'll see you next week on another edition of Inside the NFL right here on Showtime.
You know, Michael didn't get paid to block. He just was paid to catch.
Not one time has Jerry Jones ever mentioned that in negotiations.
And talk about Michael.